Antonio Brown may never make it to Canton and get his gold jacket, but he's definitely been inducted into the Hall of Fame of screw-ups. Brown is a poster child for how to take tons of talent and money and sabotage it as fast as humanly possible. He never seems to be out of the news for long, and as of late, there's a story circulating on how the Arena League football team that he erratically purchased has been completely kicked out of the league that they play in, sending all the other teams into a scramble to adjust their own schedules. How could a guy with this much ability and potential seem to keep making these silly blunders like this? Why can't he just stay out of his own way? Well, let's find out. I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com, and this is the rise and fall of Antonio Brown, the dark side of fame. Before we get started though, please take a minute to smash that like button for your boy. Liking and sharing the videos is the best way to get the YouTube algorithms to suggest us to more people. But with all that being said, let's get into this story, man, because it's a crazy one. Antonio Brown was born on July 10th, 1988 in Miami, Florida, to Adrian Moss and pro football player Eddie Brown. AB's dad would burn off on the family when Antonio was still pretty young, and his mom would eventually remarry. But despite a dad who at one point played pro ball, Antonio grew up in the hood. And to make matters even worse, he didn't really get along with his stepfather like that. Now, growing up in the hood, there are sadly few options, either the street or playing ball. And AB was always athletic, so he chose the ball route. He attended Miami Norland High School where he played football and ran track. Due to poor classroom performance though, he had to enroll in a JUCO at Carolina Tech Prep after high school, where he put up crazy numbers for the 1 year that he played there. And after a single year in JUCO, he enrolled in Central Michigan University after recommendations of his skills from a former coach. And once on the field, he balled out like always. By the end of his college career, he had racked up top-tier stats and was awarded the Mid-American Conference Special Teams Player of the Year award. Antonio Brown declared for the 2010 NFL Draft after his junior year and was selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 6th round. In Pittsburgh, he became known for his speed, his route running ability, and his reliable hands. Brown developed into one of the most dominant wide receivers in the entire NFL, earning numerous Pro Bowl and All-American selections. However, many believe that a switch was flipped somewhere inside Antonio when one day, during a 2015 playoff game against the Cincinnati Bengals, AB was absolutely baptized by Vontaze Burfict. Brown was out cold on the field for some time and was diagnosed with a severe concussion. He missed one game before bouncing back to the field. And over the next year, things seemed to be okay. AB continued to play well and nobody suspected anything. But in 2018, before the final week of the season, Brown was given a quote rest day on Wednesday, but later didn't practice the rest of the week due to what was listed as a knee injury, publicly labeled by Coach Mike Tomlin as quote injury and for lack of information, which seems strange, but that's because they were lying, or at least leaving out the whole story. Later, reports would actually surface that AB had got into it with quarterback Ben Roethlisberger and threw a ball at him. He was also verbally upset that Juju Smith-Schuster was named team MVP. And in 2019, Brown was arrested and later found guilty of reckless driving. Now this, combined with all of the locker room drama, after all, Brown and Big Ben reportedly hated each other. But this would cause the Steelers to look to trade him. And ultimately, the Oakland Raiders would pick him up on March 10th, 2019. But not only did they sign him, they agreed to give him a hell of a bag too. Originally, the deal was for 3 years worth $50 million. A reported $30 million of that contract was guaranteed. Because sure, that's a great idea, right? But nah, seriously, AB was still a top tier talent at the time, and his sideshow had just began. Before the season even started, Brown was up to his antics. He decided it would be a good idea to go into a cryo tank barefoot. And if you've never seen A Christmas Story, then I'll just say it didn't end up too well. The next month, Brown was fined nearly $54,000 for missing team workouts. He also almost got into a fist fight with general manager Mike Mayock when expressing his displeasure with having been fined. According to ESPN's Josina Anderson, Brown reportedly called Mayock a quote-unquote cracker, which is definitely something that a Miami hood dude would say when angered. The Raiders hadn't even taken a snap in the regular season yet, but they were already looking for ways to cut bait with AB. They began the process of looking into how they could release Brown and get out of paying him that $30 million that they so wisely guaranteed him. But never underestimate a suit with a mission, because they actually managed to find a loophole by fining him for conduct detrimental to the team. And on September 7th, the Raiders released Antonio Brown scot-free. By then, despite all the writing on the wall, AB was still so talented on the field that teams were still willing to try and cope with all his off the field stuff. The Patriots didn't waste time with signing Antonio, agreeing to a 1-year deal worth $15 million that included a $9 million signing bonus. So, all in all, he had managed to land on his blistered feet yet again. If only he could just keep it together long enough to actually receive the money this time. However, a few days after signing, Brown's former trainer, Brittany Taylor, accused him of raping her in a lawsuit filed. The lawsuit alleged that Brown assaulted Taylor on 3 different occasions in 2017 and 2018. Brown would deny the allegations and filed countersuits for defamation and interference with his NFL contract. And on September 15, 2019, AB made his debut for the New England Patriots. He caught 4 passes for 56 yards and a touchdown. But 5 days later, he was accused of sexual misconduct by a second woman, to which he so wisely responded by reportedly sending threatening text messages to her. Seeing where this was going, Brown was released by the Patriots on September 20th as the NFL investigated multiple allegations against him. AB would go on to receive an 8-game suspension from the NFL. Oh, but not due to the sexual assault thing. It was for a separate incident on January 2020, where he was in violation of the NFL's personal conduct policy. How, you may ask? Well, AB was arrested for attacking a driver of a moving truck. The initial charge was felony assault and battery, but after further investigation, more charges of burglary of a vehicle, misdemeanor battery, and misdemeanor criminal mischief were added. Yet still, despite all this, the Buccaneers decided to take a chance and signed Brown to the remainder of the 2020 season. But realizing he was a loose cannon though, they signed him to a $2.5 million contract, with most of that coming through incentives. But AB being AB would rear his troubled head yet again. In January of 2022, during the Buccaneers Week 17 game against the Jets, Antonio Brown strips off his pads and leaves the field mid-game, all while making as big of a show of it as he absolutely could. Expectedly, this was too much to overlook, and AB was released from the Bucs following the incident. With this final stunt, Antonio had at last seemed to have run out of NFL lives, and it looked like his football career was over. So, what would be the obvious next move for AB after several years of displayed dysfunctional behavior? Well, he wanted to become a rapper, of course. So he made several songs, but perhaps to no one's surprise, none of them really managed to catch on all that much. He would spend the next year or so popping up randomly on stage or at basketball games, but for the most part, he was relatively quiet. I mean, unless You count that time in October of 2022 where he was caught on camera flashing, shall I say, himself to fellow vacationers in Dubai in a hotel pool. I mean, yeah, there was that, but small details, right? Then, in March of this year, AB announced that he would be making a return to football, but not in the way that you would expect. He had actually purchased the Albany Empire, an Arena League team. As soon as the ink dried on the paperwork, AB wasted no time getting back to the show. First order of business was to fire head coach Tom Manass 10 days before the start of the season. Mind you, Tom coached the Empire to championships in 2021 and 2022, but who cares about winning, right? He had to go for whatever strange AB reason. After the first team win, AB insisted on strutting around the field like a proud gamecock, proclaiming he was the owner while signing autographs, despite being followed and repeatedly asked to leave. On April 30th, AB fired another coach, Damon Ware, who said that Brown wasn't paying players, and that AB had threatened him with violence when he spoke out about it. But Ware wasn't the only one canned for not liking the work for free. AB also fired 8 players for the same unspeakable infraction. And what's worse, they didn't even get pink slips. They got to their hotel and found out that they were locked out. They had to spend hours trying to get their stuff out of the rooms and then find a way back home. On June 14th, AB announced in an interview that he had plans to remove the team from the NAL and into the AFL the following year. But perhaps this was just him trying to get out of head of what he knew would be breaking the following day. The Albany Empire will ultimately get kicked out of the NAL for failing to pay multiple assessment fees. In less than a year, AB had managed to take a championship contending team and get them ousted from the league completely. Now, after all of these years of antics, I'm almost certain that we haven't seen the last of Antonio Brown's saga. The sad thing is, he has so much potential. He could easily still be in the league today and perhaps en route to Hall of Fame status, if only he could just stay out of his own way. He's left tons of money on the table, and the bit that he has been able to collect, he seems to be running through faster than beer at a Friday night festival. It really sort of makes you wonder, did the Vontaze Burfict hit spark this strange change of behavior for AB? I mean, I'm no neurosurgeon, but I don't think that's how it works. I mean, one bonk on the head and next thing you know, you're full on basket case status. In all my videos, I always end by talking about how I hope the party and discussion can bounce back, but sadly in this case, I see no reason to believe that this will happen, at least no time soon. AB seems to be hell-bent on blowing his money in the most spectacular way possible. Honestly speaking, the man needs to launch a YouTube show. It would be crazy entertaining considering the character that AB is, and it would also bring in tons of money. I know I will watch it. I mean, at this point, we might as well just get our popcorn out because the AB crazy train seems to be chugging full steam ahead. But what do you think? Can AB get his act together? Do you think he ever will? Hit us up in the comment section and let us know. If you made it all the way through the video, then we hope that you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, then we hope that you hit that like button for us. Liking and sharing the videos is the best way to help us to continue to grow as a channel. And we can't do it without you guys' help. And if you want to be updated every time we drop a new episode, then hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell. This way you'll be dinged when a new episode drops. With that being said, I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com signing out. Until next time. Peace.